Hi, my name is Elisandra De Leon, and this is my presentation for my Arts 5360 class, or Women's Gender Study in Art. This is Frida Kahlo, Two Halves of the Same Person. So for my introduction, I decided to do the Two Fridas painting by Frida Kahlo. The reason why I chose to do this one was because I chose to base my own painting off of this one is because I figured the style that it is and would with the two people would allow me to express a semi-difficult topic that is really hard to write down into words. And another reason why I chose to focus on this painting was I was interested in the meaning behind the painting, as I saw that it represented and what it represented to her during that time in her life, and how I could connect to it with what I'm going through during my time right now. So to start off with, let me give a little information about the artist herself. Frida Kahlo was born on July 6, 1907 in Coyoacán, Mexico City. She was originally studying to be a medical student. However, at the age of 18, she was in a near-fatal bus crash that left her badly injured and crippled pretty much for the rest of her life. And so because of that, she turned to painting as an outlet for her pain. And to give a little description about the artwork that I decided to focus on for Two Fridas, it is an oil on canvas painting, and it was made in 1939. As you saw earlier, it shows two Fridas, and which represents like two different sides of her. So one is in European clothing with an open and broken heart, while the other one is in traditional Tijuanan clothing with a full heart. And if you looked closely enough in her hand, there was a photo of her divorced husband, Diego Rivera. And I chose this one because, as I mentioned before, I believe this symbolizes how she has moved on but will remember her late husband. They did, however, remarry a year later after their divorce. Just a little fun. And here is the critique. As you can see, this on the left is my painting, and on the right is Frida Kahlo's painting. Besides showing a move on from her late husband, I also think that the painting Two Fridas also shows a dual identity of Frida, as she comes from a German father and a Mexican mother. As you can see with the Frida with the broken heart, this is more of her European side, as she is in a European white Victorian dress, whereas the Frida on the right with the full heart is representing more of her mother's side, as she is in Tijuanan Mexican clothing. And I believe I connected more with that, as you can see with mine. Behind, on one side, is supposed to represent the American flag, as it has the red, white, and blue colors, while on the other side it is to represent the Mexican flag, as it has the green, white, and red. And as you were able to figure that out, I am Mexican American, and because of that, as I got older, I felt that I was always two sides of me, since I know that my family originates from Mexico, but I have never been. I was born in America, and because of that, I always felt that there was a disconnection from my own culture, despite the fact that I know I have a foot in both worlds. And to continue, so yes, both paintings do focus on dual identities. However, they were made with both paintings were made with different materials. Frida used an oil on canvas. I did not have that on hand, so I used watercolor. And despite the fact that I think both paintings do focus on dual identities, I do think that Two Fridas painting does focus a little bit more on remembering the past, but still moving on, while mine focuses on my identity, or the feeling that I have two identities. Regardless of that fact, it does show, both paintings, both mine and Frida's, do show that despite the fact that there are two halves of you, you need both to actually just be whole. So despite the fact that Frida is both of European and indigenous descent, she needs both of those to be completely herself, to actually be Frida Kahlo. Well, I know that my family originates from Mexico, and yet I was born in America. I still need those two different sides to completely be me. So my conclusion, as I mentioned before, was while painting this, I felt like I was able to further connect with both sides of myself by acknowledging that yes, there are two sides of me, but as I mentioned before, I need both of them to actually be completely me. And I understand that I come from two worlds, and I accept that, and I was able to reach that while making this painting. And I felt that at the same time, while Frida's painting seemed to be more focusing on remembering the past but still being able to move on with your life, I felt that besides that, she was also kind of explaining how what many other people are going through, whether you're a Mexican American, Asian American, African American, just the knowledge of knowing that you do originate from another country but you live in another one. This is kind of showing how you feel, how you do feel like there's two different sides of you. And knowing that and being able to learn that everybody feels that they have at least two other identities, I felt that was very enlightening to learn. And I didn't feel as alone after learning that. And here is my bibliography for my information on Frida and her artwork. Thank you very much for listening.